Okay, so I've worked out my radius for my circle. For my head fit will be 9.5 centimetres, and the seam allowance, which will be that space that where the sewing machine line will go along there, and so there will be a second cut there, and then the outside dimensions I've decided for my beret, which is pretty reasonable, will be 15 centimetres radius, and then I'll have another 1 centimetre out from there, which will be the seam allowance as well. So I've got my spot on my paper. I have put a bit of sticky tape over it to stop it from cutting away when I do my circle, and I'm just getting my tape measure from my trolley, and the best tape measures that you can use have a hole in there like that. If they don't have a hole, you can actually make one, but it's easier if the hole is already there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pin, and I'm going to use the pin to, first of all, I'm going to measure those distances. So the first one is 9 point, so I'm going to do all of them in one go. So I start off by doing 9.5, sorry, 9.5, 8.5, because we're going inwards for the inwards one, get rid of that, and 15, and then 16. So I've got 4 circles I'm going to draw, and I'm going to show you how quickly we can do this. So the first thing we need to do is put the pencil on our first dot that we want, and we lay that across so that it goes past the spot. Now at this stage it's stopped being a measuring device and it's starting to be a circle making device. We just drop that pin right into that little spot there where the dot is, and the first thing we do, we hold the pencil fairly high up. Actually, I'm going to move that a fraction because it's a little bit out. So we want that line to go right through that mark that we've made. Yep, so you see you can see, is that dark enough? And we're holding the pencil vertical. We're keeping this tape measure nice and straight, and we're just working all the way around to get a nice, heavy, neat circle. Now, if you hold that pencil vertically and don't rush it, because the better your circle, the neater your pattern will be when you present it. So that's my first circle. Now my second circle is the one that's in from there. So I'm going to just move this pin 1 centimetre because I know that will be, put that pin back in at the dot there, drop that down so it's sitting nice and low and snug, and you can see that second line now is a neat centimetre distance from the first one. Okay, so do what it takes. By the way, now is probably about the right time to mention to you as well that the pencil should be nice and sharp so that you've got a nice, clean, neat pair of circles. Next one, we're just this way. These ones aren't so important because if they vary a bit, it's not going to ruin the dimensions of the hat. These ones are important because if you have them too loose or too tight, the hat will not be comfortable. But the one out here sort of matters less. Okay, so back into that spot again with the sticky tape, and I've got the cardboard sitting underneath just to help the pin stay in the same spot, and then we have the pin vertical, nice and firm, pin vertical, drawing pencil vertical, and the pin. So we're making that circle all the way around, and that's the Now we are actually going to make a second circle, so this will be the underside. We'll make a plain one without these rings on the top side. Now there's a couple of things you can do. One of the shortcuts that I use is I just fold the paper in half and I cut them both out together, but you have to make sure you're accurate and make sure that you, that's a centimetre there, make sure that you don't let the paper slip against it. You know, don't let the two bits of paper slip against each other. So we're nearly there. So anytime you like, you can create a beret pattern using a tape measure, a pencil. I use my phone to calculate the radius, and then if I lose a pattern piece, which is not beyond me, then I can create another one. Thank you.